I go. On this short video, I would like to do a brief summary of the Akkadian grammar. I would call people's attention, if anyone's listening, to a work that I have put up on YouTube and also on Google Books, entitled A Short Inductive Akkadian Grammar, based on the epilogue of Hammurabi, with biblical parallels to the Hebrew scriptures and with New Testament application to Christ. I am working out of page 2 and following of that grammar. I wanted to just, if anyone wants to follow along, I wanted to just explain a little bit about the overview of Akkadian grammar, like a brief summary. So we begin using the basic verb parasu, to cut. And this is the verb that is often used in introducing the introductory Akkadian grammar. First of all, there is the G preterite stem, or the basic stem, and it corresponds to the cow stem in Hebrew. And that is iprus, that is, he cut, from parasu. Secondly, we have the D preterite stem, which is like the Hebrew PL stem, showing intensification or doing something often. An example would be uparis, Uparris. Notice the U prefix followed by the doubling of the middle radical in the R, very much like the PL with the doubling of the middle radical. Then we go next to the Sheen stem, and specifically the Sheen preterite stem is like the Hifil in Hebrew, showing causation. It is the causative stem in Akkadian and will ordinarily contain a sha after the prefix and before the root. An example would be u sha pris, u s, and with a little v at the top having an sh sound, apris, u sha pris. And that sha infix indicates a Sheen stem, a Sheen preterite, and you have your U vowel again with we could say an AI vowel pattern, part of the vowel going with the sha. So u sha pris would be he caused to cut. Next, we have the N stem, and it's like the Hebrew nifal stem, indicating a passive meaning. An example would be iparis, he will, in other words, it will be cut. Notice iparis is from in paris, and then we see the N, can we say with the P, a similar going on or doubling, where the N is assimilated into the P, causing a doubling. So in paris becomes iparis. Then, number 5, we have the T infix, or the GT preterite stem. And that indicates a reflexive or a reciprocal meaning, like iptaras. And you have your ta infix, and you have your iptaras, the AA vowel pattern. And that would be something like he has cut. For an iterative meaning, we have the infix tan, tan, iptanaras. Again, the root is paras, so we're adding that infix, iptanaras, meaning he's doing something repeatedly. It's an iterative meaning. He has repeatedly cut, something like that. The two tenses in Akkadian are the preterite or past tense and the future. The preterite or past is iprus, he cut. The present or future is ipparas, he will cut. And notice in that you have an A vowel, an AA vowel pattern, and the doubling of the middle radical in the R, ipparas. So the verb, as we said, parasu, is the verb we're using, and the infinitive is parasu. And it becomes the model verb to illustrate the Akkadian conjugation. And I would like to now just do a brief summary of what we just said. First of all, the G stem. Iprus, he cut. You have a U, iprus, a U final vowel in that stem. He cut from parasu, iprus. Then, it's interesting, in Hebrew, you have a prefix showing the future, like, let's say, yekatev or yiktov, to cut in Hebrew from katav. But here, it's the iprus. That would be yiktov, would be he will cut. But the iprus with the I puts it into the past, which is sort of interesting. And so it's a G preterite meaning past. He cut, and you have your U vowel in that final syllable. Ipparas is he will cut. And notice you have an AA vowel pattern, doubling of the middle radical in the R, ipparas, Iparras. And this is a G present or future. So you think of the future or present as a doubling of that middle radical with an A kind of vowel pattern. The D stem, by way of review again, uparis. Notice he cut repeatedly or intensively. And here we have the AI vowel pattern with the U prefix for a D preterite, ipparis. And then, following this AI vowel pattern, if we have an AA vowel pattern, uparas, he will cut repeatedly or in the future. You double that R again, the middle radical, and you have your U vowel in the D stem, in the prefix. In uparas, you have your AA vowel pattern. And again, notice the doubling of the R, the middle radical. The It reminds me of the PL, diber, where you have a doubling of the middle radical in davar, in diber. There is an AA vowel pattern, as we said, in present and future. It would be uparas, he will cut. Then, by way of review, we're reviewing the Sheen stem. You have your U prefix, sha infix, u sha pris. And this shows a Sheen preterite. He caused to cut. And notice the AI vowel pattern. The IA vowel going with the sha, followed by the I in the final syllable, ushapris. Ushapras is the Sheen present or future. And we would render that he will cause to cut, since the sha is indicating a causative stem, sort of like the Hebrew, the Hifil stem. So ushapras, he will cause to cut. And notice it has an AA vowel pattern. And then finally, we talked about the in stem. Iparis is the in preterite. He or it was cut. And here we have the in paris becoming iparis. And if you want to look at the present, it would be iparas, the AA vowel pattern. He or it will be cut. And like we said, the original reading would have been in paris, becoming ip paris, with the assimilation of the NP and the PP, that is two P's, where the N has assimilated into the P, into the syllable, the P syllable. So it's just a brief summary. I had done this when I did the short inductive Akkadian grammar based on the epilogue of Hammurabi's Code. And I thought I would just do a quick summary of the different stems in Akkadian.